Ooh,
Thank you.
that's a very rare.
I'll leave the gallery up for the moment so that we can see if anybody wants to speak.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all and start tonight's meeting of the East Grinstead Town Council Planning Committee. Welcome councillors and our very full online Zoom and people in the chamber, which is very nice. The first part of the meeting, as always, is public participation. We are allowed 2 people to speak for and 2 people against an application. So if you do wish to speak, please make yourself known to the town clerk so she can let me know.
Does anybody in the Zoom room wish to speak at this point? This is your opportunity if you wish to make a representation. I have no hands and nobody's taken themselves off mute. So there you are, Chair.
Thank you. Item number 2 is apologies for absence. Do we have any apologies?
Councillor Favor, who is away at the moment. I don't know if you wish to accept those apologies.
I would like to nominate that we accept those apologies. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Show of hands to accept those. Thank you. Item number 3 is to receive the minutes of the meeting held on the 24th of January. I would like to propose those. Could I have a second, please? Any questions on those at all? Can I show of hands to adopt those minutes, please? Thank you.
Lovely. You need to sign, I'm afraid. That should have the correct. Thank you very much. The rest of my initials. Yeah. That's it. Thank you very much, Chair.
All right, thank you. Item number 4 is to receive members' declarations of interest. I will start. I would like to declare an interest in the QDH application, whose number 1842, as I work for the trust. No declarations. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know, I am the town mayor, the chairman of the council. I appear on this meeting, happy to appear on this meeting ex officio, but I do reserve the right. I am a member of Mid Sussex Planning Committee, and I reserve the right to change my opinion at that planning committee based on any information that might be brought to us by the officers in line with the laws and the laws governing predetermination. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any others at all? Yeah. Thank you. Item number 5 is Chairman's announcements. I'll keep this very brief tonight. Really need to say that we've been copied into submissions from Infrastructure First to the Minister regarding the DPD amendment. So we're seeing what they're saying, and we're still waiting for responses on that. So we will quickly whiz on to the first item again on item 6, which is pre-applications. There is only one. We normally take these on block to refer to the tree officer, but only one. I propose that we pass this to the tree officer and seconds for that. Are there any comments that will be made on this application? I'll take another show of hands to refer to the tree officer. Thank you. Clark, could we possibly hide the gallery?
Oh, of course, sorry.
Okay. So we're going to start this evening with DM22 0081. This is land adjacent to the Grange, Firs Lane. Can I just make a quick query? Councillor Osborne, did you want to share anything on that? No. I want to check before we proceed. This is erection of detached 4-bedroom chalet style property on land adjacent to the Grange. those who have been on this committee for a while will be fully aware of this particular site, as we have seen it many times. This is the site on the corner here. You'll remember that we've seen previous applications that have had a very big development that got refused, and then a smaller development that got passed, and now they come back with a medium development. It's a bit like Goldilocks. Just to give an idea, this red dotting here is the outline of the approved application. This is the new change to it, and this is the new style that they wish to go for. So this is Inverhorn. So Councillor Osborne, would you like to lead on this?
Yeah, it's a fairly confined site. I think it might be an idea to have a look at the site plan. If you can zoom in.
Unfortunately, the site plans that they provided don't actually show it on there. It just says site. But what I can show you, if you wish, is on the street scene. You can see its locality to its neighbouring roads.
I think it's just, I mean, I've got today, they've got people felling trees in there and clearing all the shrub and all the rest of it. So they haven't wasted any time with it.
Remember, they do have an approved application for that house.
Yeah. I think it's just about acceptable, to be honest with you. It's a shame really because it's a road with detached houses and it's another gap that takes away from the sort of feel of the road to some extent. You've got other developments taking place. It's an area of a lot of development taking place. U-Lane has got big houses going up there. I think that one would be difficult to resist if it was turned down and it went and it was appealed against. So, I think we go with that.
Okay. Can I have a second to that? As fellow Inverhorn councillor, I agree with you. I think it's a bit cheeky to get a smaller property and then try and planning and then try and make it a bit bigger in increments. If it came back again, growing again, I would be unhappy. But it is only a small growth. It's not really a substantial growth, and it is quite an attractive design that they've gone for. So I would echo your comments. But I think we should be mindful of this, that if it comes back again and keeps growing in foot increments, we should be wary on it.
We're trying to get to where it was in the first place.
Yes, this is fine.
There was an application before the one that's been passed, which in fact was very close to another house in Pine Grove. That was rejected, and then they came for this one.
Yes.
It's been passed, and now of course you've got this one here.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, any other comments on this?
No.
No, show of hands in support of it. Next one is DM 22 0103. This is 103 Heathcote Drive. This is a 2-storey side extension, single-storey rear extension, dormer extension over garage, internal alterations and fenestration changes, and driveway extension. These pictures show quite clearly the there's the site plan. I'll turn a bit closer, it's a bit hard to see up there. So the darker grey is the current house, and this is the proposed lighter grey, proposed new extensions on this corner of this plot. It is not next to each other. The reason I thought this is worth having a look at is because it is a substantial increase in overall size. You can see the before and afters there. Again, this is Inverhorn. So, everyone would like me to lead? Or?
Yeah.
I thought it was worth discussing this because it is a large increase, but it is going into the corner of plot. If it was going with neighbours on either side, I think I would be a lot more against it. It is usually doubling the size of the house. It is in line with others that have grown to a similar extent on that estate and in similar corner plot positions. So I am minded to propose that we accept this. I wouldn't want to see it any bigger, and I wouldn't want to see it in a different plot. This particular one, I am minded to approve. Could I have a second for that?
Yeah.
Any other comment on that? Okay, can I show of hands? They're the only two normal applications that we're going to have. So I have to leave the room. I'm going to hand over to my wonderful vice chair, who, please bear with him, this is his first time using this laptop. So it is a bit laggy at the moment. We're sharing the screen. There's your pointer. Oh, good luck, sir.
So next on the list is DM 21/1842, land at Queen Victoria Hospital, Voltaire Road. The erection of 30 dwellings along with access from Oakfield Way, along with parking and landscaping. These are amended plans that were received on the 17th of December, showing amendments to the scheme, including design and layout changes and additional units. Town Mayor, would you like to
Yes, I would.
kick us off?
If I might, thank you. Tony, could you perhaps fill us in on what we actually, when this came to us originally, can you let us know what we actually went back with as far as the decision was?
What you said last
Because
time.
we objected to it, but just let us know what we actually said. That would be very helpful. Thank you.
The comment last time, East Grinstead Town Council comment on the 2nd of June 2021. The council recommend refusal to this application. The entrance from Oakfield Way is not deemed suitable to cope with larger vehicles such as refuse lorries. In addition, the extra traffic generated will result in a detrimental effect on all residents in this area. The new build at the bottom of Blackwell Farm Road will, when included with this, have a significant cumulative effect which cannot be ignored. It is imperative that a traffic survey is carried out in normal times, not during a pandemic, to demonstrate the real use of the existing traffic movements to allow proper modelling to be considered. The council would want to know more about the intended pond management, which could result in danger to life if youngsters are to be encouraged to play in that area. The environmental benefits are woolly in that they refer to minimal standards. A development of 28 homes we would expect to far exceed minimum benefits and start to lead on sustainability and development. The council is shocked to understand that the developers reduced their number of dwellings for these to be encouraged to be increased by officers at Mid Sussex. The community effect of this development is simply going to overstretch infrastructure, cause more problems for the existing residents. It is simply the wrong development in the wrong location. In addition, we would ask the traffic survey be conducted in term time. Can I please remind councillors that we do have a large number of people in Zoom, so if they could speak up whilst they're talking on this application. This is the application that the people are here for.
Thank you very much. Yes, I fully concur with everything and all the decisions of the planning that we made last time, and I know from all the details on the board today that I've had a look at, and I know various residents personally, that that these are the objections raised again, and indeed it went to Mid Sussex, it went to the district planning committee, which I don't sit on, but it was, I believe, refused there on those grounds, and the developer has come back with an extra 2 houses, and I can think of absolutely no reason whatsoever why we would be pleased to see that happen in this area. I think that the major problem is the access and egress to the site, and therefore I would propose that we recommend rejection of this to the district planning committee, and I know that my colleague here would like to make further statements.
A second for that proposal.
For that, yes.
Any other comments?
As far as I'm concerned, everything that Councillor Bell says is absolutely true, and everything we said in the past is absolutely true, and I will support both of those things. But the one thing that really gets to me is the impact it's going to have on the Blackwell Farm Road itself, with the school and with the new dwellings we can have at the bottom. So we've got extra houses going to go in there, extra cars, Holteye Road has never been a great road to come out in and out of. That roundabout is very, very busy at the best of times. You've got, the minute the cars come round the corner, they appear on the roundabout. As they're coming down Blackwell Pond, down the hollow, they come out and they appear on the roundabout. We are putting a huge impact on that junction. But to me, the one thing that concerns me more than anything else is the Blackwell Farm Road and the school. And the school runs. And I just think, I mean, I like seeing dwellings. I like seeing dwellings go up, but there's got to be the correct highways consideration for all dwellings. I'm afraid this area in Blackwell is just not suitable for another, an extra 2 on the 28. So no, I could not find any way to support this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant or Vice Chair. I listened obviously to the proposal and supported recommendation so far, and I concur with the comments raised. I can see that there is a revised transport statement on the portal put in by the developer, but I'm not sure it really deals with a few of the vital questions. So firstly, it's indefensible really to have a road traffic survey that was conducted in COVID during holiday time, and I think that is a really important piece of information. Also, there was concern raised by West Sussex Highways about the lack of unclear arrangements at the end of the road and access to the hospital, and I don't think that's properly been resolved. I know there's, I think, a footpath at least to the hospital, and what is the intention there? I think the developer needs to clarify what would the proposals would be regarding management of potential hospital traffic on top of all the residential traffic. The urban design panels refused it on design grounds before, and I appreciate that. I think the main change seems to be the addition of 2 houses and some slight changes to the to the design, and I would like them to confirm that they are happy with the design. There's also the loss of woodland, which was mentioned, and there needs to be a much clearer demonstration as to sort of net biodiversity gain. At the time, I remember Parliament received a number of, or many, many objections to it, and there's quite a good piece summarising those objections. And they also included lots of privacy concerns in relation to overbearing design of the apartment style building, and that people's privacy would be directly compromised. They mentioned the highway safety issues, which we've just discussed, and the issue for hospital users as well, emergency vehicle access, the loss of those trees, intrusion into the countryside, the noise and disturbance, which I know will also be subject to South African condition. And made other concerns regarding the school and the other developments referred to. So I think, whilst I can see that the developer has made some changes to the scheme, I'm not at all convinced that they've gone far enough to address the concerns raised. So I'll be supporting the recommendation for refusal on those grounds.
Thank you. Yeah, did I hear that right? Did you say earlier that one of the reasons that it wasn't acceptable, there wasn't enough houses there?
Mid Sussex increased the amount of dwellings in the plan.
So let me get this right. Mid Sussex put more houses in and then they've turned it down.
Yes.
So what were the other? This doesn't make sense to me, really. I mean, you give us lots of reasons that Mid Sussex seem to accept for not building there, and then they turned it down. Another one they've added in, there's not enough houses. It's it seems balmy to me.
I think that the plan was that they would accept a higher number of properties or dwellings with certain criteria is met. the criteria, I don't know what that criteria was. But then the developer came back with 30 dwellings, sorry, 28 dwellings, and has now revised that to 30 dwellings with a different mix of properties.
Okay. So it looks like our district councillors have got a job of work to do, if I'm not wrong there.
Well,
Have they downsized some of the properties to
sorry,
allow?
one second, Councillor. Did you want to say anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if there were any other written objections or any other
Yes.
notable comments that we ought to hear.
Yes, there are 105 objections in total on the portal.
Yes.
Okay, all of which were
Apart from residents, are there any other organisations or other
Yes.
notable ones?
so. Sorry, Councillor, I just have to do that. The tree officer
Yeah.
has written to recommend refusal, that they cannot support the scheme on the basis of the site is protected by a woodland order. No attempt has been made to make a scheme which fits into the woodland and takes account of natural features of the woodland. The whole scheme appears disparate in its setting. Japanese knotweed is on the site and a separate planning application needs to be put in place to remove a number of trees. 30 mature trees are to be removed. A number of groups of smaller trees require approval. This predates something from 2004 as well. So there was, and there's a lot of historic background to that in
Yes.
terms of the tree orders that were put in place when even these oak trees were a lot younger.
Yeah.
Drainage utilities, including foul water drainage, runs through the root protection system and therefore suggests that a far larger number of trees will be impacted through the build and lost. And in its present form, they cannot support the scheme. The urban designer from Sussex, Dorman, he's put quite a lot of detail in terms of design principles that aren't being met, which are DG 13, 18, 20, 25, 27, 37, 38, 40, which all basically fall into DP 26 for design, where the, using his words, the overall building design is unimaginative and ubiquitous in appearance and lacks architectural integrity, while contributing little to a sense of place. So that's that.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Obviously, there's a concerted opposition to this, and I certainly would oppose it. So I support those local members who are going to vote against this. But it does seem to me that it would be a very perverse decision in the light of all the information actually coming from Mid-Sussex internally, if this was ever passed, but one never knows. So I keep my fingers crossed, and we'll pray for our members that they will perform on top of their form on the day.
Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Chairman, all those items were found on the portal today, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they are available for you to read at any time if you want to do that before you come to the meeting.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Well, I come on here because I like to hear it.
That's,
I like to hear it spoken.
Councillor Scott, did you have
I
anything to
just
say?
wanted to say, as they've added to included an extra 2 houses, have they downsized any of the other properties, then they would have fit these in. And my other point I was going to make, I cannot remember any application that we've tried to turn down before had so many substantial reasons why we should turn it down. I mean, this is absolutely enormous amount of reasons, and everyone is valid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just make a comment on
Yes.
the implicit criticism of me by the mayor? I asked that question so the 100 odd people, or the people who are actually watching online, will be aware of this, who may not have seen the portal, who may not be aware of it. And I think it's important that these things are discussed openly, as well as a piece of paper on a portal not accessible to everyone.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think what we need to do is put some meat on the bones, really, in terms of that, in terms of policy. There's various things that DP26 design, which we've already mentioned, Town Clerk. DP29 is noise and air pollution, which relates to the comments from the urban designer and the existing noise levels that will be coming from Queen Victoria Hospital onto the site. DP 37 and 38 is regarding trees and woodland, the development that will damage or lead to loss of trees. And also DP 21 in terms of transport, where the national planning policy framework requires that development should not result in severe residual cumulative transport impacts. So the other point I would like to make actually in the transport plan is that there was a parking survey that they did, but they only did the parking survey from Oakfield Way down to Hilda Dukes Way, which is not really giving a real picture of that whole area. And they've got 500 dwellings in that area now, plus an extended school, which takes, I think, almost 500 people. So it's an area where, you know, the residents are feeling the pinch already with regards to car usage and where they put their cars, because their houses weren't built with any foresight for that, unfortunately. So we're always going to be struggling with that.
Grades, not just the sort of the traffic and schools, but the surgeries and health provision is already suffering.
Yeah, that's not really part of the plan, but I do understand the knock-on effects for everybody in that area. Yeah, absolutely. I would like to thank everybody, all of the residents that contributed to the their comments on the portal. It was very useful, particularly with some of the residents put some historical notes about what has been going on since the mid-90s for that area. Nothing's really been changed from there. Yes.
Stephen Chairman, can I ask them if they would follow that through when this comes up at Mid Sussex as well, please make sure that that goes to Mid Sussex with those same objections.
Yeah,
most important.
So,
I just have one question really, or comment. It's about what you just said about the cumulative effect. And obviously, when the school was built, Hilda Dukes Way came subsequently and is further up the road, as is this development. And I know that the transport response says this development on its own isn't big enough to, because the number of trips per hour is less than sort of the threshold needed for a full traffic survey.
16 came up with.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it needs to be 30.
Yes.
So when it would just be really good to understand what, from Mid Sussex and from highways, when cumulative effect can be taken into account, such that you don't just look at those new additions, you look at the ones that have already been built as well, and you should have to look at all those for the threshold for the traffic survey. Yes,
absolutely. Actually, that's a really good point, John. I can take no credit for this, but Mr. Dunthorpe came up with some interesting figures for that particular query in 2004. There was a survey involving 6 observers at the junction from all directions for Oakfield Way, and between 7:30 and 9:30, as an example, there were over 3,300 vehicle movements in that area. That was in 2004.
Very high.
But Mid Sussex don't use vehicle movements as part of their criteria, I don't think. So it'd be interesting to find out actually how they do it, and also reiterate that we are looking to get a more up-to-date survey done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else that anybody else wants to say?
No.
Okay, I'll go and get a chair.
Well, have you voted on that, Chair?
Yes, can we vote, please? All those in favour of refusal?
That's carried.
Same terms as last time.
I'll go for it, you don't.
With a bit more.
Maybe you don't have to speak on it. Bless you.
I wonder when they're going to come back with 32 tons.
Again, if any of you who are in the Zoom room now wish to leave the meeting, please do feel free to do so. If you wish to stay to the end of the meeting, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. Well done. Thank you, well done, Steve. I look forward to reading in a minute what you decided. I'd like to thank all of my committee for coming out and being in trouble with their wives and girlfriends tonight on Valentine's Day, and the town clerk. Luckily, my wife's away, so I got away with it. But I'd like to close this meeting at 7:30 tonight and remind you that the next meeting is on Monday, the 7th of March. Thank you.